my heart. Never ever, but you make me beg. You make me beg. Every time I come over, you make me beg. But why? Why? But why? Why? Rajo nimbo, 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 ninza. I. 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 Sina motoka, sina kabanja, sina bling, jagala kuwa some love. Give me some love, be my better half. I promise I would never let you down, my girl. Jewelry, dollar bills, many things don't mean nothing. For as long as you got my heart, naye lwaki ongambako mabuli sikumanyi bulungi njakweteza ate yes ate no ate baby. Let's take it slow. Good morning, my people. You took my heart, I never gave back, but you make me beg. You make me beg. Every time I come over, you make me beg. But why? Why? But why? Why? Rajo nimba, rajo ninzanze, rajo nimba, rajo ninzanze. Yeah, yeah. Girl, I love you, but you never ever take what I say. But you do what you do ever again. Broke my world, it goes around, around and round and round and round. I love you so, I need you so, I never leave you so. Girl, I'm telling you this every day, every night. That I really feel you, I can't deny. Give us a chance. You and I, you and I, you and I. Give us a chance. You and I, you and I, you and I. Rajo nimba, nimbo, nimbo. Rajo nimba, rajo ninzanze. Rajo ninzanze. Rajo nimba, nimbo, nimbo, oh nimbo nimba. Rajo ninzanze. Nothing gonna last for long. Time does not wait. Okay, man. Yes, good morning, my people. How are you today? So today is Market Tuesday. This is the day that you can basically market your business. Tell us about what you do, what you sell, where you're located. And one thing you need to understand is that not every time that you tell people what you do, they are going to come and support. It's never going to happen like that. You can tell people about what you do, what you sell, where you're located, share your phone numbers for a year without them buying from you. But eventually they will buy from you. That's how marketing works. Otherwise, if it worked like that, Pepsi and Coke would not be advertising anymore. Because, well, when you go to KFC, for example, every drink comes with a Coke or a Pepsi. Mostly a Coke. When you go to Cafe Java's, no. Let's say Food Hub, I think. When you go to Food Hub, every meal they have, if you buy a meal, they'll basically give you a drink that is either a Coke or a Pepsi. You get. So, but these guys still advertise even with those systems in place that help them make sales. You get. So you need to continuously market your business. Now, when you have platforms like this one, which is free, where you can actually come out and tell people, hey guys, I do this and this and this every Tuesday. That would be my advice, that every Tuesday that we have this market day, you come and tell us about your products and services. When you go to platforms like Twitter, there are people that are popular. Like, for example, Amos Wekesa normally has a market day where you can go and I think it's also a Tuesday where you can go and on his Twitter account, he invites people to to tell others about their businesses. So when you go to a platform like that as well, share your information there. When you go to a platform like Facebook and you find another, there's a group that I used to be a part of, which is used to be called Mama Tendo. Now, if you are also part of that, a group like that, and they have a market day, go and share your information. You lose nothing in telling people about your business. You get. Now, times are hard. How a business is coping? How a business is coping? And now this is one of the ways that your business can cope. This is one of the ways that you can actually market without spending money. You get. You tell people about your businesses. You tell people about your products and services, so that the next time that they are Googling, they actually know, or they find your page, they find your ad. You get. So don't take it for granted. Personally, I never take anything for granted. Why? Because I know how marketing works. I also know that businesses, even businesses that have capital, always plan to work for like 5 years before they break even. You get. But apparently, because in Uganda, this is the way we are. Omwana abira ne capital we, capital yogwa, that's all they have. So it means they need to start getting money from their business like tomorrow. If they open the business today, tomorrow they want to start getting money out of that business. And that's probably why businesses rarely make it to their first birthday. It's not like these guys are bad business people. It's just that the capital is also the survival fund. It's also the emergency fund. You get. They normally don't have the capital lying down there. That's why I've told you guys that sometimes you should think of partnerships where you have like 10 million shillings. If another friend of yours has 10 million shillings, business million. If you can talk to that friend of yours and you bring five, so that each of you has like a 5 ma lying there, you bring and invest that 10 ma together, and so that temu papa you get, so that you can use the other money for other things as well. You get. It's important that you understand that. And for the guys that are, tomorrow we are starting digital marketing, by the way, for the April intake. For the guys that have been through my class, have gone through what we call the marketing mix. Now, the marketing mix used to be the 4 P's. It went to the 7 P's. Now, one of the 7 P's is partnerships. You get. Is it? No, partnerships makes 8 P's. There used to be 7 P's because we had processes, physical evidence, and the people. Now, partnerships came as the 8th P. Right now, they are 13 P's. And partnerships being the 8th P simply spells it out for us that, you know what, sometimes you can't do it alone. And the goal should be for you to find partners that you can work with. Now, you've seen the economy is actually doing bad. The economy in Uganda is doing bad. You saw there are like 3 banks, including Opportunity Bank, ABC Bank, that are no longer commercial banks. Right now, they are kind of money lenders. Let's take it, ABC Bank, Opportunity Bank. There is another bank there. They failed to raise 150 billion shillings in capital, because for you to be a commercial bank, or is a capital 150 billion. Now, when you fail to raise that capital, money lender or microfinance, you get. So it's tough right now. And then the government is going to the government has suggested to introduce new taxes. For example, on petrol from after Getkoesa, the government is proposing to levy extra taxes, 1,550 shillings, I think, on each liter of petrol. Do you know what that means? It means that a liter of petrol right now, which costs us 5,000, I think 5,500. Just with the tax addition will cost us about 7K. Now, one thing we always need to understand is that business people don't just add the tax. Every time the government increases the tax, the business people take advantage of that and also add a fee. You get? So if the government wants to give us 1,500 extra as tax, now the companies are going to add an extra 500 shillings. So it means we are going to be buying fuel at about 7,500. And once we get there, we are not going back. Remember, fuel used to be 3,500, 4,000, then it went to 4,800. And we skipped to 6. I think there's a time we bought fuel at 8K. Now it went back a little bit, 5,500. Now, with the new proposed tax by the government, we will be buying fuel at 7,000 or 7,500. Kasoke babuze ko tugende into our Market Tuesday. Muyombia Mark, good morning. Antonio Random Things, good morning. Paul Sema, good morning. Kutosi Mike Nicholas, good morning. Ntade Samuel, Ben Wycliffe Mugalu, Derek Lule, Peace Joseph, Edrin Mugerwa, Derek Lule, Oronald M. Cassandra VIP, good morning. Asumani Peter, WAMV Technologies. Naile doka mbale wali. Ene wantu muruka cha kesi ekimanyo okuchukira bukubone. Muberao. Africa Carota, Sejemba Henry, King Daniels, yeah, good morning. Council Patrick Asiku, good morning. STS Sounds and Majuala Julius, good morning. Arthur, what's the target market for phones business, smartphones, and what are some of the ways that businesses now smartphones, you choose your target market. There is no particular target market that every person that sells smartphones should target these people, but you as a person, you need to choose your target market. Now did someone tell me that as they were starting the smartphone business, did I read it somewhere that as they were starting the smartphone business, that person used to work for a company that used to target corporate employees, banabantu bakola mu company, to sell them smartphones. And what would happen is that that company would approach your HR manager, and they would crack a deal. They would crack a deal with the HR manager to lend you a phone. Now, you didn't have the money to buy the smartphone. For example, the Samsung Galaxy S24, which I don't know, does it cost like 3.5 or 4 million? So they'll approach your HR manager, they lend you that phone. Now, the HR manager is responsible to make sure that they cut your money every month until you pay that phone off. Now, that company did not have a lot of capital. Then along the way, Simba Telecom came, the one of Bitature. Now, Bitature had a lot of capital. He would manage to sell phones at a cheaper price, which take it. So there is no HR manager that would allow you to sell a phone to their people expensively when there was someone that was offering it cheaply. You get Kati. So it's Simba Telecom kicked them out of the business. The company ended up closing. Now there is that business model. There is this business model that for us, we don't actually sell phones firsthand. We lend these phones to corporate employees. It's the same thing that is happening with these buy-to-own car guys. Selling a car cash is one of those hard things. Otherwise, if people were simply buying based on the condition of the cars in the bonds would not be there, and people would not be buying old cars. Which take it. Sometimes we go and buy a kanempulanga chinuma nti omuntu aguze motoka bwati nga yali baddayo ngerako million nga musanvu nenga sente za abayina atenga you can find that in the next 12 months tasubira kufuna sente za ziizo yagala agatteko atenga bagenda kuba bazimu banja okitegeera nga nezidi sente zenyini zagulamu emotoka. He has collected that money for a very long time. So that's why the buy to own guys exist. Nti asobola okubanja emotoka emyaka ena naye nga agidabolinze. So a car of 20 million, you end up buying it at 45 million, which together. So, but those are all business models. Or smartphones, you need to understand what is my target market. You don't simply go and open a shop because everyone else is opening a shop. There are people that sell smartphones in wakata vayo, which together. And this day and age of digital, you don't need a physical shop. I was talking to who here, and I was telling, no, it was my classes, and I was telling this person, one of the vending outlets that Jumia is making things very, very easy for you guys that sell physical products. You can go, omulabye apakize mukubo wakati okulonda omusaabaze mukubo wakati. He didn't even go aside. Anyway, so Jumia is one of those platforms that are giving you space for you to sell your products without actually having a shop. With Jumia, you just have to find a way of being as cheap as possible while also giving Jumia their commission. Because remember, Jumia deliver these phones, these products for you. For example, if they are phones, they deliver the phones for you. Ochitegera. Kati. Kati. If you have an outlet like Jumia, all you have to do is find a way to sign up as a vendor. Okay, Bagambe, this is how much I sell my phone. And always, you need to always remember, msaja wa chimoroka cha kasasi gituyitanga tulinye mbizi ya parking dala ere moroka za fezi dugale zaga amaze sijja gayitamu. So you need to go sign up, because I think Jumia takes about 15 to 20% as well, but to include that in the cost. For example, if you're selling a phone at 200,000, means Jumia might want 40k. No, 40k is 20. Yeah, 40k. So instead of selling it 200k, you'll have to sell it 340. Now you need to understand who are the people that buy from Jumia. These are people that don't want trouble. You know what I'm going to na ye bintu byabigura ku Jumia. Tomunyumiza yamanyi Jumia is cheap. Yamanyi Jumia is cheap. We already know Jumia is not that cheap, but Jumia gives them convenience and the chance of return. They can return the things if they are not happy with them. At times the businesses people end up working for rent. Now, if you work for rent, I've found that that the businesses that open and work for rent are the businesses that are not focused. You need to be focused. Now, working for rent is also subjective. Let me tell you why. Businesses sometimes are not meant to kick off in the first 1 year or 2 years. Like I've said, there are so many businesses that break even only in the 5th year. They don't break even in the 1st year. They don't break even in the 2nd year. They don't break even. And by break even, I mean not making losses and not making profit. That's what we call break even. That's why we have a tool called the break even analysis. Digital marketing. Now, the break even analysis helps you to calculate how many units you need to sell to break even. How do you do it? You take into consideration ogamanti nsasula rent waka kadde nina abakozi babiri buli mwaka mbamayirako emiliyoni 2 netuli emmere ya sente bweziti netusasula omusolo bweguti. We spend this money in total. Now when we spend this money in total per year, we need to sell this number of units for us to break even. Now this is what happens. You calculate the cost that will be involved. For example, rent was sent bichi, and then you calculate that also what we call variable costs. In simu njigula sente bweziti njiteka transport bwati nenye packaging in area bweziti and all that. Those are variable costs, the changing costs. If I don't sell that phone, the variable cost that is not engaged, or it's not, the variable cost doesn't count. If I sell the phone, I definitely have to count the variable cost. Let me find an example. Let me give you an example. I have fixed costs. For the love of cars, internet is a fixed cost. That's a fixed cost totally. I think basically that's the fixed cost I have. But I have variable costs that go with every inspection. The variable costs include the mechanic. The variable costs include fuel. The variable costs include airtime. Those are 3 variable costs. Now, before I started doing this channel, I can't say I had everything figured out. No, I didn't. But I calculated a little how much I needed to invest in this channel before I broke even. At that time, I didn't even have the idea of inspections in mind. I had totally different ideas, which some of them have not really worked out. And that's how business works sometimes. You don't get rigid and say, hey, unless you have actually figured it out. So now, my fixed costs, which are internet, okay, which are internet, those don't change. Because I have to do a broadcast every day. Now, how many inspections do I need to do for the Love of Cars to break even? Now, for the Love of Cars as a channel, already broke even. I'm telling you, we don't make losses. Okay, we reach the point where we're not making losses and we're not making profits as well. We are not making any losses. Now, their businesses are not as lucky as my business that Obama breaking even. I gave you an example of Bukede TV. Bukede TV did not break even, did not plan to break even in the second year, but they broke even in the second year. What does this mean? Before you start a business, so you know calculating, and that's what business consultants do for you. Because you will not break even until like it's 5 years, because the business consultants will basically create the reason why they used to do business plans. Basically, I don't do business plans anymore. The reason why they used to do business plans was during the business planning phase, you also do market research, right? And you find out that if I'm going to be selling smartphones, how many people buy smartphones a year? How many of those people that buy smartphones a year buy phones that cost 200,000 and more? How many people of those buy smartphones that cost 400,000 and more? Now, some of this information you can get from, like, if we had a functioning systems, UCC would give you information like that, Ministry of Trade will give you information like that, URA would give you information like that. But of course, we don't have those things. I was in marketing class last like when I was doing the last paper I did, and we were talking about things. We were talking about theater, because in Nakatemba, and we were talking about theater, and this marketing lecturer, who is a very good marketer, you know, normally I want to simply see that means I'm not letting down my company, I'm not letting down my industry. The theater industry is one of the most complex industry for one to market in. And I was asking this guy, how would you know if you're doing well in this industry? How would you do the market research? And he was saying, there is information. You can go to UCC. You can go. And at that very moment, I went to the UCC website, and the last report they published was in 2022. The last report, you know those reports they publish, and they say abantu they consume data like this. There is those reports. Gaya danyo chokanga tulimu, we were in Feb 2024. But the last report those guys published was like from 2 years ago. So we don't have that ready information. That in a way also makes the market researchers of the business planners, business consultants work a little bit shady, scanty and all. But you need to be able to plan based on research. Some research can be as basic as you go into Gazaland or to Lewo. And for you to understand why they buy the phones they buy from the places they buy. One, some of the people don't buy online because me, that's one of the reasons why I don't buy stuff online. I want to go and look at that product before I buy it. Look at it physically and probably also compare with other products. So that's why me, I don't do online shopping. And because I understand that sometimes there is a time I used to have hypertension. So there is a time, because I ran, there's a time I bought a watch to monitor my blood pressure, to monitor my pulse and all as I ran. Now, I bought a watch from Jumia. They brought it for me, and that watch wasn't doing what I wanted it to do. It wasn't doing what I wanted it to do. And I was disappointed, but I had already paid for the watch. And I think that's the last thing I bought online. You can buy food online, because food online normally is okay. But stuff like jeans, there's no way for you to try it out. So you need to understand those dynamics as well. And that's why people keep flocking Gazaland. Now, if you're going to be opening a shop, then you need to understand, why are people working for rent? One of the reasons why I believe people are working for rent is because people think once you open a shop, you have accomplished it. But once you open a shop, people need to know the shop exists. You need to have a unique value proposition. That's what we call the unique value proposition. You need to tell them that, you know what, you can get this phone from everywhere else, but from our shop, this is what you can get. This is why most of these people that have capital right now are lending out the funds. Bajikuola. Because there is no other value proposition you can give a person. You cannot tell me you're bringing quality, because we all know Ugandan traders bring the cheapest. They don't bring the best quality. There is no Ugandan trader that is going to tell you, yeah, I bring the best quality. Yes, they say it verbally, but they don't do it. So you're not going to tell a Ugandan that, you know what, come and buy from me because I'm offering you the best quality. We all know you're not going to offer me the best quality. When you went to buy a phone from China, you bought the cheapest you could get. So now, what is your value proposition? Olaba, even companies like Toyota and Abatunda zero mileage cars, they don't base on quality. You know what they base on? Come and buy a car from us and get free service for 100,000 kilometers. Get warranty on all parts for 2 years. Like you cannot convince someone that I have the best quality here. And that's normally what you guys that sell phones want to tell people. That me, I'm bringing the best quality. Hell no, you're not bringing the best quality. And then sometimes you want to lie to people. Now I'm talking about guys that sell phones. Sometimes you want to tell us that, you know what, if you come and buy from my shop, you can bring back the phone anytime. We all know you don't really mean that. I can't bring back the phone anytime. If I bring back the phone, of course, there's a place where I buy my Samsungs. I've taken the phone back before and they just gave me a new phone without questions. Good morning, Abdul Nasser, Alan Mulindwa, Juma Abanji, Hajara, good morning. Obado was working for it. I mean, the money they get is just for paying rent, and at times things don't even work out. They get money from the side hustles. Okay. WAMV and Jakuliko. Now, businesses that work for rent are not marketing. You guys think that once you open the shop, it's done. It's not. You need to market. You need to have a marketing budget. I was watching a video on Bajitata Kasuku live, and Eddie Sandy was saying radios are closing down also. Urban TV closed down. They are no longer thingy. And I think one of the things that Urban TV suffered with was the fact that they did not have a target market. Urban TV was all over. You cannot survive business if you don't have a clear target market. And also seba no tetuba servinga wadde baagala naye bano tetukola ki tetuba servinga. So I find that Urban TV did not have a target market, which is a very bad thing for any business to very bad position for any business to be at. You need to have, as a business, you need to have a clear target market. Abana bagenda bavuga vitis ne bazisaka emigugu naye ddala nga bavuga racing car. Oh, by the way, one of my followers is selling his Vitz. It's the new model, the 2006 to 2008 model. Yajifula daya racer, ya race. You know, mudumu emabega. Yajiteka spoiler. It really looks nice. I'm going to share pictures here. And if you want to buy it, he's selling it at 17.8. Yanga is 17.8. That's the money that he has invested. So ajitunamia eliku UBJ. So if any of you is interested in buying a Toyota Vitz, the new model, nayenga kati ya chivubuka nnyo ebanisado it does those things. So it's but it's a 1000 cc, it's a 1 liter. So he just wants to get another car. I think it's a Celica. He likes cars that look like race cars. So he bought this car and modified it himself. It has Android. It has an Android screen. It has a reverse camera. I find that basically majority of the extras you put in the car, they are there. So anyway, times are hard, guys. Already in Bagambie, Kusemint, the government is increasing, once is proposing to add 500 shillings, 750 shillings tax on each bag of cement. They are proposing to also introduce an extra tax on gas, the gas that you use to cook. 1,220 shillings, I think, is what they are proposing to levy on. On cooking gas. On petrol, they are proposing to increase, I think, about 1,550 shillings. I find it to be unfair. It's going to increase the fuel prices too much. Yeah, but of course that's what happens when we stop getting aid. Me, I'm happy that we're not getting aid, by the way. I'm very happy that we're not being helped by foreign countries. We should be able to fund our budgets. We should be able to fund. That's when the taxpayer will know how to vote properly. You vote the right LC chairman, you vote the right MP, you get it. Yeah, but now Uganda, they will start taking responsibility. With that fuel price, I have to relocate to Gusia. Ngamafuta, ngajja Kenya. Okay. Trisha, good morning. Galasi Joshua, mixed farm here. Hi Arthur Hdev Mashallah. Amina Abdul Nasa, Mr. Richie UG, Firstborn, Lucky Mose, Yusuf Minaj, Chris Da Vinci, Brian Bwire, Ronald Muchwa. What's the current price of cement? Right now, cement, I bought it at 36,000. You guys need to understand that every time the government introduces a tax, the people that are selling the products also increase. And I find that sometimes they say 750 shillings, but they actually increase by more. But I don't think they really increase by more, but I think that the traders increase more. The traders add their own kamani. So if they increase the tax on fuel by 1,500, the traders are going to increase by like 2,000 or 2,500. So you're going to end up buying a liter of fuel at 8k. I'm telling you. So let's get ready in case the parliament passes this tax, which I'm sure it's going to do, because majority of the guys in parliament actually work for government. So I mean, NRM has like 80% of the guys in parliament. So if NRM is proposing the tax will definitely go. Which take it, right? So the taxes are going to go. They're also levying a tax on, what was that? But I think the most important is fuel and LPG gas. Which take it. To see me, Eddie, Brian Wanyama, how are you? So times are hard for businesses, but what are businesses doing to survive, or what should businesses be doing to survive? Even with business going through hard times, there are still businesses that are surviving. It doesn't mean that they are making a lot of money. Definitely the money that people are making has reduced a lot. I'm telling you, the money that businesses are making has reduced a lot. But what can you do to survive as a business owner? I find that someone has shared a story with me of a woman that went back to her ex-wife of like her ex-husband of like 10 years. This guy is separated 10 to 20 years ago. The woman moved around. Nebamupepe wane bigana. Kati namaliriza nga ayina kuddayo ex-husband we, because yakizudde ex-husband yayinamu ku magezi. Era kati mbokwanjula kwawedde n'embaga ejja. Okitegeera. So so sometimes it's not as good as you expect it. Like I was watching a video and the woman was saying that sometimes women break up with their husband because of the 30% that the husbands are not providing. They go to a person that is giving the 30%, but then the man is not giving the 70%. Which take it. And I think that's something that, because we are in Africa, we need to understand that things happen the African way. Which take it. So the women leave their men for 30% because of 30%, and then they end up losing the 70%. And they separated when kids were 2 years. Guy yakomewa abana bagraduating. Vicky nagamba ate nakola ki ono ye wange kati embaga ejja okitegeera yekika ensonga lwaki maama bani yagambye osaze kufuna muganda wange sikuinaako obuzibu kasita ompa byenjagala okitegeera. So anyway, what a business is doing to survive, to keep moving, one thing you guys need to understand is that sometimes when we are making a lot of profits, when we are making a lot of money, we tend to think that we are going to make a lot of money all the time. That's not the case. Sometimes you will not make a lot of money. There are times that you will not be making money. So you as a business, you need to be ready for those times. And how do you prepare for this? I found that in Uganda, majority of business owners kastako akola sente nga nyingi nnyo mwako gune kukwatayo ngagula kawunde empya, omwako kukwatayo ngagula Land Cruiser V8, mwaka bukukwatayo bwaba badavuga VTZ nga Arthur ngaakyusa ngagula agenda agula ki ngagenda agula RAV4 bili budget kati 28 yeriko ngagula RAV4 28. I find that that's literally one of the reasons why you guys our businesses end up going down the moment things are rocking, because we are not used to knowing that sometimes business will not be working out as well as it has been working out in the past. Which again, sometimes you're just going to be making the bare minimum or jayo sentes what at them. Which again, I told you guys, for example, mukafenze sakura musente, but twasamba akaji. It was, now it's easier when they see the name Arthur Chisenyi, when they see the name Dynam, when I'm bringing a show, they know that I can do something. Which again, and it was my first time producing a TV show. Which again, now being the first time that I'm producing a TV show, it had its own challenges. I depended on people that I thought knew when they actually didn't. Which again, but now I recently produced a new pilot, and I'm telling you, it's breathtaking, and I submitted it. Nebo jitundia pilot empya je nakola nebo tunia ne ya cafe te yali mbi, but when you look at even the quality, even the writing, the directing, even the acting, it's nice. What's taking it? But I did not make money in the first product. Why? Because as a marketing person, I know that businesses might not make us money in the beginning. Does that mean we give up when we don't make money? No. Better than in terms of business in the first WAMV technology. Sometimes the businesses that are surviving are not surviving because they are making a lot of money. They are surviving because they are making back the money they have invested. They had capital for 5 years. They had capital for 5 years. They will keep moving. But now you guys that are going to open businesses, especially you're going to open businesses. How much money over resources for how many years do you have? You have resources for how many years before you start making profit? That's the one thing you need to ask yourself. If you're going to open a business and you expect to make money in the next month, that's why I was telling you guys, sometimes you need to do partnerships. It's the 8th P in marketing, partnerships. Nabagamba wano nti banks, every bank can create their own banking platform, banking system, their own budgeted mobile banking, but it's very expensive. Do you know what these banks did? They are competitors, but competing. They came together and they invested in one platform. Of course, each bank or judges in a POS system and all, but they have one system. And yet, agent wa bank is because they are using one system. They investing in that one system. Ngabanji is cheaper than each bank investing in its own platform. Watch again. It's cheaper. It's cheaper. Wachi nti, if it's going to cost me 1 billion nze to create that one platform nze nga Arthur, but it will cost me 250 million. Now, if it's going to cost me about 200 million to keep that platform live every year, but it will cost me about 35 million. So it's cheaper with partnerships. That's one way that businesses are surviving during these hard times. Okitegera kyekeba nalinda ba ali Haji Bakaluba ng'agamba nti bw'akugamba how which capital you should have to open a business, takugamba gwe kyomanyi bakyalibo bibakola, akugamba ekituufu. N'akugamba most people come and open businesses, go and open businesses in arcades and all, when olowooza bagiguddewo in the standard way. They have not opened that business in the standard way. Abantu abamu bagulawo amaduuka n'ateekawo display nga talina products, ng'alina amasimu amakumi aga ga display, naye nga amasimu g'atunda si gage. Nyina omwana muyiribi tukola naye, she sells dresses, kati aleeta ebyokuva e Nairobi, but bwe yayita natandika kuleeta bintu bye from Nairobi, kye yakolanga ng'abeerawo n'ebya display, naye nga bw'ojja ng'akugamba kankuleetere. She knew all the shops which had what, ng'akuyiriba ng'agenda akuleetera, ng'akulyako omutwalo. So omwana oyo senga atunda pieces 10 ez'engoye ng'ayidde mutwalo aba akoze emitwalo 10 without investing capital. Kati gwe bw'omulaba ng'alina edduuka lye oba ng'alina discipline, n'ogamba naye ono omwana ebintu bye nga tebitambula, abeerawo atya? Kumbe gwe gw'ogamba nti tebitambula, ebibye si bye bitambula, ebyabalala bye bitambula, and that practice is still live. Bikyaliwo mu Kampala, abantu bakyabikola. Naye ate one thing I've realized, I don't know WAM technology if you're in Uganda, but I've realized that majority of us as young people, we watch a lot of inspiration videos, a lot of motivation videos, and they misguide us. Because when those motivational speakers are telling us things, they are telling us things that are straight. Haji Bakaluba, Newton Butera, this guy, Robert Kiyosaki, Ochitegera. When those guys are telling us things, they tell us the straight way. A house is a liability. They don't tell us what applies in our context. They don't tell us what applies in our context. So whenever you're listening to a motivational speaker, you need to ask yourself, what applies in my context as a Ugandan? Then you look, today I'm dressed like this because what applies in our context as Ugandans? When nani nchatambula nnyo nga nkyagenda nnyo Bungereza newa because I literally went to all the only country in Europe jesagenda mwe yaduma yali France. It's like the only time I almost went to France was when I was in the airport in Paris. We were going to France, but I would love to go to France. But by the time that I used to travel, I used to think that Ugandans are lazy when they don't wake up early. But then I realized that as I grew up starting when Uganda, I realized that businesses in Uganda are not about you waking up very early. Businesses in Uganda are also about you having a network of people that either support you or a network of people that will buy from you no matter what. You need to have that network. Then businesses in Uganda are also about who is more aggressive than the other. You will open up at 7 a.m. and not be aggressive. Someone will come at 9, be aggressive, make more money than you. Then also businesses in Uganda are also about people that pray more than others. I don't have proof of, but that's what I've been made to believe. That businesses in Uganda are also about who has more witchcraft than the other. Now, I don't want you to ever believe that. Because in the business nga start day muddogo okitegeera nga start day muddogo ng'abantu abalala bwe bagamba, because I've had people say ba artist baluga, ba artist bakola ki, but I also know abantu abataloga nga they simply play dirty. Waliwo guy mu industry ayina show ku bumpi ku buli TV ayinako show, ayina ne show nga mukaga ku YouTube. But you know, recently I was told about his strategy. Do you know what his strategy is? Gwe bw'obeera ku TV nga Arthur bw'omulaba nti ayina show ku Pearl Magic. Arthur bw'aba ayina show ku Pearl Magic nga bamuweka tugeze millions 3. Oli guy ekyakola, he goes to the program's director and he says, you know what, how much are you giving Arthur? And then the guy will say, I give Arthur 3 million per episode. And the guy will say, give me 1.5 and I'll take that time. You get, that's the strategy. Yeja akola buli wamu ku buli TV ayinako show, ku buli TV ayinako show. Naye nga ye kyakola, yetabala nti agenda kufuna sente mu TV shows ezo. Yabala nti let my company be too popular. He literally has the same story. Temwogere erinnya nkimanyi mulimanyi. But he literally has the same story. Bwogenda ku TV eno, ogenda okulaba nga show jaina kefanagana eri ku TV eri, naye akyusa mannya. His stories are always about a Casanova. That's all. Kogende ku YouTube zeziriyo. Akyusamu katono nnyo, akyusa amanya ga character n'agisaayo. But his strategy is simple. Let me beat my competition out of the market. Taloga, tasaba. That's his strategy. And his strategy is pure business, by the way. It's pure business, Kati. It's people that don't know marketing that would say he's an evil person, he's a bad person. But his strategy is pure business. It's pure genius. The fact that you can kick everyone out by being the cheapest in the market is also a strategy. Takola ko sente TV zalimu nti aina abantu abali kubukedde TV. Balinga baba wange emitwalo 8 per episode because bukedde TV yali esasulira bubi. Nagenda n'agamba omusajja wa bukedde nze mpe emitwalo 4. Can you imagine? He cuts what they are giving you in half. Kati oli wa TV naye abatalina kyakola. Yanoonya bunoonya kubeerako na content. Bali ne babasuula ne basigaza ono. Now sometimes these guys don't say the truth abali mu industry. Bagenda bogerera omuntu oyo mulogo, omuntu oyo biki naye nga taba mulogo. Aba alina strategy ye yagirowooza. Most people enter business without actually having a strategy. That tugenda kola bwetu tutuyitewo. So you need to have a strategy. That's how businesses are surviving. Okitegeera kati oyo omuntu mumutegedde ye bwabeera ku TV. Era boba badogo boba li Uganda ngo badde olaba the local channels, you know what I'm talking about. Kati what is going to be your strategy in business for you to survive? Because your strategy should not simply be I want to simply make money. No, that's not a strategy. How are you going to make the money? The first thing should be what is your target market. Oliga ye yasarawa targeting TV zagala ku saving a cent. Are you a TV? You don't have a lot of money to invest in products, to invest in content. I give you cheap content. I give you the cheapest content. Ye kyakola. Kati ye strategy yeri, I'm going to give these guys cheap content. Abantu bategeere products zange nange ebivulu. Bwe naranga ebivulu. Abantu bajje mbivulu byange kuba bandabye ku buli TV. I don't know if you guys get what I'm saying. Bwe bandaba ku buli TV. Nenange ekivulu kyange nti ndikanyanya oba ku gardens ki. People are going to come and watch my shows. Charging emitwalo 3. I do a countrywide tour. Osegeera nti sente zesikoze ku TV zino zonna zonna bambadde nyina kolako emiliyoni 7. Njazikola mu mwezi gumu. Okitegeera. And for him, that's his strategy. It's a very clean strategy. I admire him for it. I will never take that route. Because first of all, people will start seeing you as an enemy, which you don't want. People will start seeing you as evil, which you don't want. Like already bamulabanga panange jeke ennaku zino obadde toliiwo nga tetukyakola lugambo twasalawo nti ebintu tubijje mukanderiiti nga akantu kano ojja kunkubya emiggo jeke era olunaku lwozze n'otandikirawo okwogera ebintu byeŋŋaanya abantu okwogera jekojja kunkubya oŋŋambanga nga wooli ne sigira. Okay, kansoke nsobe ku message zino. You guys, simanyi oba I'm making sense about how businesses are surviving in Uganda right now. Morning, Arthur. They are also proposing impose 5% withholding tax on gains from the sale of land in cities and municipalities. Yeah, 5%. But 5% is and the gains is eating up profits. Sicho, you pay tax off of your profits, not off the total sale. Because since akumanga and plot yang million, over 5% is paid on basically everything, every money you make. Of course, it will pass because they get their salaries from taxes. I strongly believe that the remaining businesses will lose customers and consequently collapse as well. I find, Council Patrick, me, I disagree. Why? I believe that businesses are going to continue making money, but it's the businesses that are strategic that are going to make money. You need to be very, very strategic if you want to actually continue making money. Our making money is no longer going to be the normal making money. As long as you open your shop, you are assured of making money. It doesn't work like that. But cooking us should be tax-free because it's the only way to reduce the levels of deforestation since it lowers. That's how we all think, but apparently the government doesn't think like that, or the people who are passing the policies. Good morning, Steve Barros. Edrin, after talk about rich guys who keep bags of cash rotting in the house, does it affect the economy? Because I think money is not in circulation. I personally don't think that money being in circulation is the problem. I find that it doesn't matter what you're doing. The money goes out a lot. Zozifuruma. URA has a very high target because we are no longer getting we are no longer getting aid, so we have to actually fund most of our things. I find that that's the problem right now. So URA is milking everything. There is a time I told you guys I got an email from URA at 5 p.m. inviting me for a meeting at 4 p.m. that very day. Simply because there is a year we made 100 and over something million. For you to be able to qualify to pay VAT, you need to make 100 million, I think, consistently. Sarah Bampet is an email, you know what? We made that company once. So you guys, why do you want me to start to put me on VAT? You guys will deregister me eventually. So I thought they understood, but they did again. Send me an email. I sent back an email and told them, you know what, guys, you sent me an email at 5 p.m. inviting me for a meeting at 4 p.m., which is an hour after. So I could not come, schedule another meeting because I know there are years we file nil because we didn't actually make money to pay taxes off. So you cannot come and tell someone VAT ya mujiwa. Talk about business registration and Omusoro depends on your capital. Which capital do I need? You register 1 million or very safe. And I'm sure the accountants here, Council Patrick, can advise on that. Long time Roman Rome. How about Iceland? Have you ever gone to Reykjavik? I don't think I want to go to Iceland. I don't see any interesting thing there. Good morning, JK. Wadokozo Rugambo. The guy is doing a price war, something which is not actually good. Clients won't increase his pay, but rather will destroy his reputation. The people in the market don't like him. That's the one thing. Nobody likes him because he's doing a very bad thing. Muyombia Mark, we all know the guy. Anange. Majid, good morning. Nick Wabuye, good morning. So anyway, that's basically, you need to understand, but I'm sure that the guys that Mwakora Business Administration, so you know that before you open a business, you need to have capital to run you until you break even, which they get. But majority of Ugandans don't actually know that, and so they are never really prepared for that time before they break even. They think that I open a business today, tomorrow I start making profit. Some Ugandans don't even know the difference between profit and income, and that's where majority of the time we get the problems. For example, I'm parked in front of a gym right here, and in a gym ojiraba e charging omutwalo gumu. Now gym eno ebe charging omutwalo gumu esawe no mulimu abantu babiri nze ngenda kubeera wa kusatu ekoze emitwalo esatu kumacha. Let's imagine yeyongedde, and by the end of the day ekoze emitwalo katugeze nga 15. Rent one maker jakwesanga gym eno wedding esasula rent 1 million ngemu n'ekitundu okitegeera inamu abakozi babiri balina ba instructor babiri okitegeera. They have cleaning costs, they have all those costs. Katujja kwesanga nti omuntu agulawo gym eno n'atandikirawo okwagala okugiryamu ssente. Of course the owner wa gym ono namulaba. I don't think he's the kind of person that wants to eat from the gym immediately. But ojja kwesanga nti omuntu agulawo gym n'ayagala esasule emmere y'ewaka, esasule rent y'ewaka, esasule rent w'edduuka, esasule abakozi, ate ekole n'amagoba, ate gyeyo ne ssente ze yassaamu, which doesn't work like that. Okitegeera. Which doesn't work like that. As omuntu yenaina amanyi business olina okubanga okimanyi nti before you make back your money, or before you make your profits, before you making profits, you need to cover the expenses. Okitegeera kyekimu ekiri ku government yaffe tenatandika kola yadde otugoba. Our government kati mulabanga Entebbe Express tebanatandika yadde okola n'ekikumi. They are still covering expenses. They have not even broken even. For them to break even, yeri period ye batugamba nti balina okunganya sente bagamba myaka emeka 15. That's when they will break even. nti sente zaffe ze twasaamu zonna zivudde katandisa okukola ku magoba okitegeera. So that's what we call the break even. Prepare, guys, prepare. Things are going to be harder in time. It will be much more expensive for someone to get to your shop. It will be much more expensive for someone to buy from you. It's going to be much more expensive. Ne rent agenda kweyongera, balandlord bagenda kuongeza rent because amafuta wegeyongera ne landlord expenses zeyongera, amasomero gagenda kuongeza because once the fuel prices go up, everything is going to be much more expensive. Kati digital marketing class yange y'omwezi ya mitwalo asatu right now, but once that fuel price goes up, egenda kulinnyedde ku mitwalo 4 okitegeera. So every time the expenses go, so tuwesabire, if you have an MP that gomanyi goina mu inbox muwereze message omugambe temuyisa musolo ogwo, just send the message. We know it might pass whether we like it or not, but just send the message just to know that, you know what, I sent my MP the message, just to tell him you know what, temuyisa musolo ogwo. Query came high. Mr. Arthur, there is a lot more munange in Iceland, glaciers, hot springs. Yeah, actually, you will be surprised, Starch. When I visit countries, I'm not interested in sightseeing. Yeah, I'm interested in the food. I'm interested in eating food. I'm interested in seeing buildings. Natural resources, I'm not really interested in them. India. Just fitting the country is cold, I'm just fitting in. Yeah, I'm fascinated by the buildings, I'm fascinated by the work that people do. Oh, there's this museum that talks about stuff that people did. I don't want a museum that shows us animals. I want a museum that talks about the people that achieved things in the past in India. So I think that's why Iceland doesn't really amaze me. When I like to see like architecture, I like to see beautiful roads, I like to go and see movies in that country, explore the culture. India. Ono better can soke mu blocking. Yeah, Toddy Ronald, good morning. So guys, I hope I've tried to cover, but guys, today is Market Tuesday. That's why we have been talking about that. I do pre-purchase inspection. If you're going to buy a car, I come with the mechanic. We make sure that you not only get a car in good condition, but you make sure you also get a car that will serve the purpose for which you want to buy it. Sometimes why we are buying a car, and to out of the excitement of I can afford so and so, this car, I can afford to buy it, so let me just buy it. So we come and I give the guidance. I'm a guardian angel. The mechanic also works under my careful watch to make sure na getting a compromised, and we charge a small fee of 450,000 shillings. That money covers 1 day in Kampala Central Business District. It covers fuel, the mechanic's time, and my time. And if you have the right budget for the right car, you will definitely get a car in 1 day. Now, people that want to buy cars of 5 million, I'm totally discouraging you right now. Nku discouraging because ojja kuchawa abantu ne bwoba togenze nange. Emoroka y'emiliyoni 5 gireke. Emoroka y'emiliyoni 5 gireke. This is from a friend to a friend. Emoroka y'emiliyoni 5 gireke. Omuntu yali badde ne sente no yali badde ne miliyoni nga 10 okugula emmotoka, miliyoni 10. I'm telling you this. Omubuloka ayagala ogenda ogula emmotoka akole sente tajja kigamba. A trader who sells cars will not tell you this because baba amunazira, but me, I'm telling you because I don't want you to buy any car from me. Don't buy a car of 5 million. Newebera we gireke okujja era ogenda kwagala kuchawa abantu. Someone called me yesterday and he said, "Ata njagala gula motoka milioni 5." Normally I don't answer these calls, but I answered his call. No, actually I called him back. Nemugana emoroka ya milioni 5 nga wali girese ogenda funa kibina na 10. Now, it's clear he doesn't want the chibina and the chikumi. So he told me, he asked me, I take Glanza. Nemugamba Glanza, yala ise nyegenda ba million musanvu ba munana atira tijaba nungi. Nemugana ekubira kuba broker. Now, normally when by the time someone calls me, people think over sometimes I'm a magic maker. Agenda okunkubira okungamba abaya kuba desi ya yogedde n'aba broker. Nemubuza gwa aba broker yogedde nabo ne bagala solo okufunira Glanza ku million 5. Nangamba bangambi nabo tebasobola nemugaka kakati. Emotoka ya milioni 5 lwaki togireka soko wezemi nanga ate kati mark to grand namwe mark to grand byane milioni 12 bwezifikawo it's okay. Otegera, you know these things, it's important that you prepare your mind for the actual, because what you gula moroka egenda kutama emoroka egenda kutamya bulamu, you need to prepare the amount of money. Zemba nkugambi wano nze ne botagenda na Arthur bwegenda mu katale ebintu byo kugamba biri mu katale eyo starlet glanza ekitone nye jaba ya milioni 7 ennungi buli bu starlet obwa bulijjo obuyinza oba milioni 6 ate era nabo yingino jajjuliranga ebulamu ate nga engine isaawe no bogula moroka ya milioni 5 nga engine ya milioni 2 emoroka boji buze milioni 7 okigira kamba sibule bachali bange bannange jeko obulanyo toddamu kubula bwotyo innovation museums. Aha, Joshua bagambye ekituufu emoroka ze milioni 5 muzirikire ba engineer ne ba engineer emoroka ze milioni 5 muzirikire ba makanika for now muleke makanika agisubule milioni 5 agenda agirongose mwagiguze munana ngebyo kole byali ku frustrating because sometimes I've realized the things that frustrate you people that buy cars, you're not frustrated by the money you're spending. No, you're frustrated that you're spending that money after buying a car, because majority of the time when we buy cars obo yagala ogule murukanga obanga aguze ekipya, for you it's new. Kate bwogule ekintu kyekipya ayi notako kukisamu sente nyingi kubanga bwogule muruka emilioni 5 bogisamu ebbiri obanga kiba kiruma naye nga ate bwogula emmeroka emilioni 8 ojengayo emitwalo nga 7 ate tekumenya nnyo okitegeera, because emitwalo 7 is little money compared to the 8 million. Kati that's the thing that Joshua is saying. Emmeroka ez'emilioni 5 gireke abasuubuzi bamakanika, emmeroka emilioni 5 mugireke na makanika sina musuubuzi okitegeera. Ate era bw'ebeera ya mu kibanda nga wonogenda mu kibanda somewhere emmeroka emilioni 7 8 gireke neye 10 mu bibanda n'emmeroka ez'emilioni 10 I'm telling you. Mubibanda. I mean, I've been there. We go to inspect cars for people. Nagamba haba mpitide moroka milioni 10. Omugambe ye moroko chikakasa yako imugendo jitukako nga mama mvundu. Usitegera. Anyway guys, kamba sibule ngene nkwate bwate mukuma wano maze. Last week we were shooting my second pilot. It was a hectic process. And since then I've not gotten a chance. Ku Sunday na demo family meeting. Saturday na ino kutwala abani ku beach, ku Friday na inaji. Yeah, Friday I still had work still based on the pilot, so it has been a hectic process. So I need to go to gym. Muyombia Mark, Antonio Random Things, Paul Sema, Kutotsi, Nicholas, Nitari Samuel, Ben Wycliffe, Mugalu, Derek Lule, Peace Joseph, Edwin Mugirwa, Derek Lule, Ronald M. Cassandra, Sebu Gwao, Medi Asuman, Peter, WAMV Technology, Sejemba, Henry, Africa Karota, King Daniels, Council Patrick Asiku, STS Sounds Ent, Majwala Julius, Matembe Abdul Nasser, Alan Mulindwa, Juma Abaji, Hajara, Trisha, Mugalasi Joshua Mixed Farm, Mr. Richie, Firstborn, Lucky Mose, Yusuf Minaj, Chris Da Vinci, Brian Bwire, Ronald Muchwa, Lucky Mose, Brian Wanyama, Tusime Eddie, Ivan Kayuchi, Joseph Bari Kudembe, Norman Karohanga, Lucky Mose, Chris Da Vinci, Steve Barros, Edwin Mugerwa, King Daniels, Sereko Stach, Roman Rome, JK, Majid, Quiri Hakim, Odi Ronald, One Wandiambi, STS and Arthur. I think more taxes affect the profits and increases commodity prices, hence less sales per day. At the end of the month, the plan I had for 2 months will shift to 5 months. I totally understand, but Tetwina Chakola, but the one thing that I can tell you right now is that regardless of what happens with the government, you guys still have to do business, you still have to make money. Anabatasobola government eno zinda bagamba nze wendi bera mu Uganda onenda bange ebintu bitabuse ngenda kufuluma eggwanga lino sijja kudda ne email njagikyusa ne simu ngabe waffe tebasobola na kunkubira, because the majority of my family is actually satisfied with whatever is going on. Me, I'm not, but I know I cannot do anything about it. Okitegeera. So kyekimba gamba nti obachi we have to survive. Omuntu awiranga you cannot survive in this environment, genda fulume eggwanga. There is nothing we can do about it, I'm telling you. So, but how do you survive? Mbagambi, first thing first, because we are car lovers, avoid buying cars that are strange. Emoroka yegenda kulya sente ekutamye emmotoka. egenda kulya sente kutamya emmotoka. Okitegeera, avoid buying cars out of excitement, kyekisooka. Secondly, have a marketing budget for your business. Your marketing budget should be 20%. 20% of 20% of the money you want to make that year. Total revenue. Bw'oba oyagala kukola miliyoni 10, beera ne miliyoni ngaga marketing. And now, before you start throwing that money around, have a clear plan of how you plan to market during that period. Period can be 4 months, it can be 1 month, it can be a year, it can be 6 months. Have a marketing budget, guys. No business has survived long without a marketing budget. Tell you. That's why Coke markets Airtel. Airtel TV affected by the taxes. It's affected. Shell is not affected. It's affected. All those businesses are being affected by the prices. Even Coca-Cola, because they have these big trucks that take soda. But you have to keep going. That's why Coca-Cola is in every country. That's why Pepsi is in every country. Now, this is our country. Arthur, I saw your videos since the beginning of 2023 until I bought a car in September 2023. I mean, Anati Stefan. So, whether you like it or not, you're going to be here. But since you're going to be here, have a clear strategy. First of all, guys, have a clear target market. And work for them. Work for them. Bobo says they want to, I'm going to be like, there are people that have taught digital marketing. I want to start a video podcast. And I told you, but for who? For what? And why will people want to watch your podcast? That's the value proposition. That's a conversation for next Tuesday, guys. I wish you a very lovely day. Yeah, mukamba huo mukisate mwera bila kuleta mirimu ja inspection tracker ne alarm. Namwe abagala okusoma digital marketing ngoli Kampala. Tomorrow we have an open day. You don't have to pay anything to be in tomorrow's class. You can text me on WhatsApp. Nenku number ya admin no mukubiro no WhatsAppinga. Na akulagirira how to get to the class tomorrow. It will start at 9 a.m. I think we have even an evening session. I think so. Twina morning session ya abantu abasobola okujja kumacha. But we also have an evening session for the guys that can come in the evening. Tomorrow's class is for you to gauge why you really want to do this 1 month course or not. Now, after tomorrow's course, then we'll have subsequent classes that you can attend after paying. The digital marketing class will only cost you 300,000 shillings. And it's for 1 month. You study 3 days out of a week, 3 hours every day of class. I wish you a very lovely day, guys. I'll see you tomorrow morning, 7:15 a.m.